What's up, Commanders fans? So the schedule finally came out, and this year is going to be a little tougher than last year. But don't worry, because Jaden Daniels is in his second year, and he has another year with all these guys that he had last year. So that's good news. I'm not worried because he was already ahead of the pack. The pack. He was already ahead of the pack last year. When he came out, he didn't look like a rookie, nothing like a rookie at all. And he looked like a seasoned vet. He looked like he's been in the league about 4 years. So what does that mean for this year? That means that he's a 5-year vet, okay? So that means I'm not worried. He's going to be playing up against, let's put the paper up here. And then we're going to say he's going against Jordan Love. We didn't play him last season. We're going against the Chiefs. We didn't play last season. And we're going up against the Lions and the Vikings. The Vikings we did not play last season. And we did not play the Super Bowl Vikings. But we did beat somebody that whooped their ass. So we did play the Lions and we whooped their ass. And, of course, the Lions beat the Vikings. But let's not forget how much people talked about how the Lions were missing this person, that person, but their defense was all there, right? And we whooped that ass. So, we're not going against the same Vikings that was there last year, and I'm not worried about this team, one, because they don't have the same quarterback. Last season it was Sam Darnold, and now it's a rookie that was supposed to play last year, but he didn't because he was injured, and he's playing this year. And, of course, I feel like this is going to be his rookie year, for real, because he has to get the reps in, he has to play, he has to learn how to play at an NFL level. He hasn't done that yet. He hasn't been able to step on the field just yet. So this is going to be a fresh start for him. So let's go down the list. I'm going to go down it fast, and then we're going to come back. First, the Giants. Then we got Green Bay. Then we got the Raiders. Then we got the Falcons, Chargers, Bears, Cowboys, Chiefs, Seahawks, Lions, Dolphins, then a bye week in week 12, and then the Broncos, the Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, and the Eagles. So to end the year is going to be tough. Them last 4 games is all divisional games, and it's going to be some tough games. And I put up a poll trying to figure out how y'all felt about our division and who we were going to sweep, because I feel like we're going to sweep somebody. Somebody going to get swept. And I, right now, feel like it's not going to be the Eagles. One, because they still got their top players on offense. And that's mostly what scares you the most about them. Of course, they have, a great defense. And, they added some great replacements. So it makes me feel like, okay, we might at least get one game off of them. If not, that could be a sneaky team to sweep us. Not even sneaky, because we know they dominant. And they just went to the Super Bowl. So they might sweep us. But out of all the people in our division, I feel like we're going to sweep the Giants. And I feel like with the Cowboys, it's going to be a 1-1 situation. And I feel like we may get one and we may lose one. So the Eagles is up in the air. More than likely, we're going to get swept. But it's going to be some close games, only because of, just think about the body of work that Jaden Daniels had last season with, let's say, the Steelers games. Let's say the Cowboys game, the first time they met. Let's say the Bengals. I'm talking about games that we have lost and won, but games that showed how Jaden Daniels doesn't stop fighting until the very end. Even the Falcons game. Let's talk about the Ravens game. You know what I'm saying? These are some top teams that you have to go against, and you have to play at a high level. So just seeing what Jaden did against the Bengals really made me feel like, okay, cool, Jaden can hold his own. But that was a perfect year. That was a perfect year for him to get really acclimated to the NFL and to really just get comfortable with everything. So with these games, we are going against 5 playoff teams that we played last season. But one of them being the Vikings, that are not the Vikings from last year because they have a different quarterback. And, the Eagles, and then we also are playing another playoff team that we didn't play, and not just playoff team, but the Chiefs. They go to the Super Bowl all the time. So that's 3, I believe, and then the Green Bay, and then I believe it's one more on this list. Maybe I put the Eagles twice. Okay, so yeah, no, the Vikings as well, but they're not the same team. And then you got the Lions. So that's 5 playoff teams that we are going to have to play our ass off against. But I'm not scared as long as everybody's healthy and these guys can go out there. And of course, let me honorable mention to the Miami Dolphins, because one, if Tua is healthy, they're going to the playoffs. We seen what Tua can do, and Jalen Waddle was there. If they still have their wide receiver number 10, if he's still there come the beginning of the season, then they're going to the playoffs. And if he's not, they're just a regular team. But I feel like with the people that we have to play this year, it's going to be a really tough schedule. Even with the people that we have on this list, like the Chargers, for example, they just beefed up their offense, and they got some great running backs. And Marion Hampton is one of them guys. So, and that was one of the things they struggled at during the playoffs, where Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions, but those 4 interceptions because he couldn't get the ball rolling with the run. And that's something that really helps out the pass game. So that's something that they beefed up, and they understood that, okay, we need to help Justin Herbert out and not have him pass all the time. And another team that did the same thing was the Cowboys. And the Cowboys went out and got some great guys. I think his name Jalen Blue, and they got him, and just to beef up the run game, and Williams, and they got some guys. They wasn't able to get the star running back that everybody wanted, but that went to the Raiders. But they did something. I think everybody in the NFC East has really boosted up their offense. And think about what we have to go against. We got to make sure, one, the most important thing that we got to have right this season, and we all know without a doubt, no matter who Jaden Daniels threw to, he still made it happen. You feel what I'm saying? Whether that came from Noah Brown, or that came from De'Ami Brown, or that came from Olamide Zaccheaus or Jamison Crowder, he got the ball rolling. Or Luke McCaffrey, or Terry. He got the ball rolling. Whoever he could, he made sure it happened. But we knew without a doubt, if we were going to win these games, the help was going to have to come from the defense. And not just anybody on the defense, not just the defensive ends that we're missing right now, that we really need help with. No, not middle linebackers. No, not safety. It was coming from the cornerback position, and that was because we had ass players like Michael Davis and Benjamin St-Juste, and they was holding us back. And now it's a different season, and we added, before the end of the season last season, we added Marshawn Lattimore. We had Mikey Sanders still, who stood out throughout all the ass players we had at cornerback position. We brought back Noah Igbenogany. We added Jonathan Jones. And right now, we have guys that can, really go out there and play. So hopefully we can get the same Mike Sanders still that we had last season. We can get him to play in his spot. And let's not forget about Trey Amos. How we added him, and he's a top guy to be on the outside. So all this is going to rely on Marshawn Lattimore. If he's ready to be that Marshawn that we know and love from the Saints, if he's ready, if he's good and healthy this season, coming off a hamstring injury and re-injuring it in the Eagles game in the later part of the season for us, if he's ready to go out there and play at 100%, that's going to predict if this team has elevated and if we've gone up from last year. Because it wasn't just the offense. Of course, we added guys on the offense. We know we needed some help in the wide receiver position. We added those guys. We got Right now, I'm not sure who's going to make the team, but right now we got Michael Gallup. You know, we got Noah Brown back. Let me slow down. We got Noah Brown back. You know, he's good, 150 plus yards without catching the ball. This is just off pass interference. And he had 400 plus yards through the air. And that was before he got injured. He wasn't even able to play a full season. So, now, and then we got Debo, and he's going to be a nightmare for defenses because you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know if he's going to run it, catch it, throw it. You don't know what Cliff Kingsbury has built up for him and what they're going to allow him to do. And then you got Terry, number one right there. And he's reliable no matter what. And you see what he did in the playoffs. So imagine if we get back there. He's going to go off. And Debo has been there before. And Debo has been all the way to the Super Bowl. So he knows what type of mentality to have each and every game and the playoffs. So with Jaden, we have so much. This boosts everything we was trying to do last year. It's like having a bike, but then now this year you added some stuff to your bike. Now your bike is, look, I got the worst analogies, but just bear with me. We added a motor to the bike, and now the bike goes fast. Don't worry about my analogies, but just get me. This team is way different, and the reason I say that is because we have a lot more of what we were trying to do last year with the ass players that we had. We were trying to be a playoff team without a playoff team. We had De'Ami Brown as our wide receiver. Now we got Jalen Lane. And Jalen Lane is a combination of all those guys that we had last season. He's a combination of what we were trying to do with Olamide Zaccheaus and De'Ami Brown. So he's a combination of those guys. And he gives us something in the return game. A punt return or kick return. Whatever one you decide to put him on. He can do it all. So that's something that we can add to the table. And he's a fresh start to everything. And he's competition to the wide receiver room. So this is a boost that Luke McCaffrey needs. It's a boost that Michael Gallup needs. Because we don't know how many guys we're going to keep in that offensive room. And it's a boost for KJ Osborne. We don't know what he can bring to the table. We didn't get to see him do nothing last year. But I'm excited because, like I said, the most important thing that we need to be right this season is defense. And we've done that. We've gone out and got Will Harris in replacement for Jeremy Chin. And we've beast up. We've allowed Bobby Wagner to come back. And, you know, that duo that he had with Frankie Louvu is still there. And these guys are in their second year. And you don't understand how powerful it is to come back in the second year with the same guys you already know how to communicate with. You're already on the same page. And it makes things less frustrating. And because you already went through 17 games together, we know where to give, we know where to take, we know where to add, we know where to subtract. We know what to do different that allowed us to be perfect. And these are the same guys besides De'Ami Brown, Olamide Zaccheaus, Jonathan Allen, Dante Fowler. Those are the core guys that are not there no more. But we brought back Zach Ertz. Bobby Wagner is here. Noah Igbenogany is back. Guys that we wanted back are back. Jeremy Chin is gone. But those guys went for other reasons. Mostly money. But at the moment, we didn't feel like Jeremy Chin was not worth the risk. And of course, don't get me wrong, just because you're ass or you're giving up too many touchdowns at a certain time in the season or certain seasons, understand, you can be better the next year. So it's not saying that if we didn't re-sign Jeremy Chin, we couldn't have been better. No, he probably could have had one touchdown given up, versus 7 that he gave up. So it's not saying that just because we got rid of him, we're going to be better, or just because if we would have kept him, we would have been great. No, it's just we got to move on. We got to find better, and we got to find what works, because if he's not willing to take the amount of money that we were offering or take less, then we just got to keep moving on. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Sometimes it's not always personal. Sometimes it's about business. And Jeremy Chin made a business move. So did Olamide Zaccheaus and De'Ami Brown. They went for the money. They went for the bag. So we're going to see them guys when the time comes. When it come time to see Olamide, we're going to see him. When it come time to see Olamide with the Bears, we're going to see him. When it come time to see De'Ami with the Jags, we're going to see him. We're going to see if he really was worth the amount of money that he felt he was worth. Or Dante Fowler. We're going to see him with the Cowboys. And we're going to see Jonathan Allen with the Vikings. We're going to see him. We're going to see if they really was worth what they felt they was worth. And I fought it. And we're gonna move on. And the next thing and the final thing I'm going to say is that, like I said, if we don't get this one thing right this season, and if these guys don't show up, we're going to be right back in the same position. Because we got to stop the run. And we got to do great and not giving up so many touchdowns and so many penalties on defense, right? And just make sure our offense is flowing. And Cliff, I ain't worried because Cliff came back and made sure, he never even left. He made sure that he doubled down and said, you know what, we're going to come back and try this thing again. And Cliff Kingsbury, I'm proud of you for coming back, man, and not taking off. And I just want him to give us what we want. You know what I'm saying? We all won a Super Bowl, and we got so close to it. We was one game away. And I just applaud, everything that's happened over this past few years. And I still want to see Gabe Taylor on this team to be a backup, at least for Quan Martin, seeing that he's coming off of 2 surgeries on his shoulders. So, and I'm not sure if he got it yet. I can't remember. But that's something to look out for. But I don't know which way this is going to go with that. But right now I'm excited for the franchise. I'm excited for the schedule. One thing I'm not excited for is the schedule release. The video, it wasn't really my thing, man. The video they put out for us, I felt like we could have did more. You know what I'm saying? I seen other teams like the Chargers last season. They did something that was phenomenal, and it was just entertaining. Or the Broncos a few seasons back, like they had videos where it was entertaining, it was funny, it was something that kept you watching the whole video. And over the past few years, I wasn't entertained by what the Commanders put out for their schedule release. Like I remember they had one with Terry just cutting cakes all day. Like it was mediocre, but I take that over what we got this season. Come back and cut the cakes again, man. But yeah, we need to boost that up, man. I'm not proud of that. I ain't like how that was released. You could have just pulled the AI. Remember, I don't know who it was. I forgot who it was. I think it was Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they said, you know what? How about you just do some AI? And they brought in AI, Allen Iverson, and that was just a funny joke that they played around with. And it didn't take that long. It was probably like 1 or 2 minutes, and it just got the point across, and it was funny. And he just showed the schedule. But it was funny, you know what I'm saying? Focus on that. Focus on fun, entertaining guys, you know what I'm saying? Just not so much. That just wasn't my thing. That little animated thing, it wasn't my thing. But a lot of guys didn't appreciate it. But, and still some guys that did, but not me. But we could do better. Like I said, this season relies on what we do on defense. And like I said, man, I know I've been rapping for a minute, but I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the videos. Make sure y'all watch. Go look at some of the little things I got people voting on, man. Go to my page and go to the community page and just go vote on some of the stuff, man. It's entertaining. I be trying to make sure y'all involved and we talk and we communicate, and I want to see how y'all feel about this team. And just so y'all know, I'm out.